Jacked by the cops. They shot my tater tots. Busted the Moonanites with slinging moon rocks. Gotta be more watching Lemonade Shake. Before I go with that, here come the drum bag. Hey, Darren, check it out, man. Your boy Oscar told Frylock. That's me. The guy coughing back there. He don't have COVID. He just like to smoke weed.
Oh,
that's Bart. But anyway.
How are you, man?
He said, how are you, man? That's Bart. Anywho. Hey, this is your cameo. Shout out to your podcast, Faded, my brother. Maybe you'll have me on there as a guest one day. I don't know. But Oscar wanted to do this for you. Merry Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, holiday season. Peace, love, and fragrance, y'all. I'm out. Yeah. Stay safe. Mask up.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2. It's the Faded Podcast. Who the hell are you? It's your one and only boy, Oscar. And joining with me is the one and only Darren.
Hey guys, I'm excited that we are finally talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force. We've been waiting all year, literally.
Literally, yeah, because last December we kind of like planned it, and then in the January you said, hey, maybe we should do this December because anniversary. I'm like, oh, okay. So here we are now. Like, the year went by fast. So here we are, December 2020. I hope you all are safe, and surely it will get better soon. Just remember to stay safe.
I hope a lot of you have survived throughout the year.
Yep. RIP to all the legends this year, and make sure you guys are safe. You can get through this. So, what are we gonna talk about, Darren? Because we've been hyping this up.
What were we gonna talk about? Gentlemen, behold! For we are talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And why it's such a legend.
I think we've been like mentioning Aqua Teen before on the podcast for a while. And for good reasons. We love this show so much. Truly like an influential cartoon. And it's like the most quotable out of all the adult shows we ever watched, to be honest. The creators, sorry, go on.
Yeah, easily top 5 most quotable.
Creators Dave Willis and Matt Malero each knew each other from working on Space Ghost. And one day, there's a Space Ghost episode where there's an episode that has the fast food characters. And then it was not much, I mean, it's just like superheroes but fast food. But they like that idea so much that they tried to pitch it into a series. But this isn't until years later that they get the green light. But the people behind it, they did not want it to just be a series about nothing and just fast food characters doing random shit. So they're like, oh, let's have them be detectives. But it's only for a few episodes, then they just continue doing random shit.
Yeah, they sort of phased out the detective thing around the first Moon Knight episode.
So like the first pilot, the Rabbit one. So there was like original one they've been working on, and it aired like 5 a.m. on December 30th. And it was half finished. If you look at it, it was pretty rushed. They probably had it on like a special feature on the season DVD. And you can tell like there's a lot of shit missing, outlines were gone, and it looked bad, but you know, a year later they fixed it up, and that's literally a year later season 1 was done. And here we are 15 years later, they did like 15 seasons.
Actually, they did 11 seasons that ran for 15 years.
So yeah. With a movie and a PS2 game as well, and a Christmas album. So that's an achievement there. and it became a memorable adult cartoon show throughout the ages, and still being talked about to this day. And
and unlike Simpsons or Family Guy, it was able to be canceled before it got too stale.
yeah, and it certainly did influence cartoons we know today.
Yeah, like some of Matt and Dave's other work, like Squidbillies and 12-Ounce Mouse.
Yeah, even your stuff that we wouldn't really expect, like I'm sure like your Adventure Times, your regular shows, your Gumballs, your Steven Universe, your Star vs. Forces of Evil.
That's right.
I'm sure they wouldn't be a thing if it weren't for these animated objects talking.
That's right, because apparently Carl is in Steven Universe.
Is that fair? Yeah.
Yes, I 100% believe in that theory. I mean, considering that the mascot of the Fry store in Steven Universe suspiciously looks like Frylock without a finger.
Probably, yeah. So yeah, but season 1 is probably like the best when it comes to them showing their efforts into this simple show about fast food. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like these 3 roommates and an annoying neighbor, and they just fuck around doing whatever they want. So you can relate that to real life if you ever have college roommates or neighbors. It's just doing random shit. So
yeah, I mean, you thought Squidward had bad in living next to SpongeBob and Patrick. I mean, you should see some of the stuff the Aqua Teens do to Carl.
But like, it's weird. Like season 1, it's like unique on its own against the others for the amount of effort they put in. Like the camera angles, you can see like the front of their faces, and then like other angles of their bodies, like different parts of the house and settings, and then more effects, and the stories were crazy, like, you know, more like the superhero heroic stuff. It's like 90s Adult Swim in a way. I don't know why they just decided to stop most of that. Like, of course you'll get some here and there, but it's like they put like more effort into season 1, and that's like almost 16 episodes in that one, and the rest are just around 10. I think it's just to have a good impression to the Cartoon Network company.
Yeah, I mean, they had to, for the DVD release, they only put about 13 episodes on volume 1 so that they could have room for special features.
Yeah. I feel like,
which is actually pretty cool.
It was a nice touch. Shall we talk about the characters for those who haven't seen it?
Yes, and if you haven't seen it, then find a way to see it. Like buy DVDs, buy digital copies on iTunes or Amazon, or get an HBO Max subscription. Find a way to watch it.
Watch clips on YouTube, but it might be confusing at first, but it's confusing when you see the episodes as well. Let's start with Master Shake. He's my favorite one. His favorite movie is Battlefield Earth. He eats steak and eggs every morning. He's allergic to shellfish. Yeah, he's my favorite one because his personality stands out, because to everyone he interacts with, he thinks he's way better than them. And he's like so full of himself. He doesn't admit he's wrong, even if it means he creates a fake story just to prove he's better. And voiced by the one and only Dana Snyder, he's like, I can't imagine anyone else taking over that role. He plays him perfectly. He's like this demanding, whiny leader who sounds like he hasn't taken a shit in days, sort of thing. Right, like, what are you doing? I'm the leader. That sort of thing. For those who don't know, Dana Snyder, he voiced a lot of stuff nowadays, and then he also did gazpacho on Chowder, which I might have said before. He's my favorite cartoon ever.
I'd probably I'd probably recognize that if I watched Tower today. Which I might, now that I know that.
Yeah. You might do a voice swap with Shake and Gazpacho. If Gazpacho ever says, "Wanna get naked?"
Yeah, just get some Shake audio and line up with Gazpacho.
Like the other auditions to play the cup, does indeed play off like a heroic person. I'm guessing that's how Dave Willis was portraying it, the superhero detective type cartoon characters. And he almost did hard one before Dave Willis's friend recommended Dana, who were best friends in high school, so thank God for that. And it was like this routine they have to do is like, oh, let's eat steak, get wasted, and do the voice auditions over the phone. And then he accidentally lost that. He's like, oh, can you do that again? So Dana had to do the exact same thing: steak, drink, voice audition, then got the role.
That is very interesting.
And the funny, yeah.
Yeah, how come not all voice auditions have that interesting of stories?
And the crazy thing is, for the pilots, they used Adult Swim money to, back when Dave and Matt was helping with Space Ghost, they used the Adult Swim money to fly to Vegas where Dana was to record the Shake lines. And they got in a lot of trouble for that because they weren't supposed to do that at all. So the Adult Swim called them up from the hotel suite, and like they got deep shit for that. So from what I looked up, Dana Snyder's favorite episode, or maybe best episode, was the season 1 hypnotizing guitar episode. And they won a guitar belt in a arcade, and it hypnotizes people.
Oh, that's Revenge of the Moon Knights.
That one, yeah. As he said, it was well written. There's conflict, good jokes. It was just a solid episode, and yeah, I don't disagree on him. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, like any of the episodes that focus on the Moon Knights are huge highlights for the show.
Oh, they're the best. Shall we move on to Carl?
Yes.
Carl, he's like the best animated cartoon character in the world. Once you get older, you suddenly become Carl. He loves sports, mostly the New York Giants. He likes porn, he likes drinking, and classic rock, mostly Boston. He has a car named Too Wicked, which was based on Matt Millero's old car with the same name, which is a Dodge Stealth. It's a character like that crazy, like I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of knew a Carl in real life, or that's just what every New Jersey man looked like.
Well, I mean, we'd probably see if we ever went to New Jersey.
To see a bunch of Carls around. And even in the show, they have like the other characters, like there's a Terry, there's a Dante, there's a Dominique. You kind of like fall into that Carl type character. And they found a way to make them unique on their own as well. So everyone loves Carl for his iconic lines, and he gets memed the most. So like even something simple, he says like I don't need no instructions to know how to rock. It's like it's 3 a.m. I found this cable, and it's connecting to you, and your house is shining like the frickin' sun. And yeah, I connected the two and decided you're pissing me off. Just shit like that.
Yeah, because like they were stealing Carl's electricity.
Carl, good morning. Yeah, it is a good morning, meat man. It's 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm sure that anyone would become Carl if they had annoying neighbors like him.
Mostly his angry face as well. Like even that just makes me laugh. And that became a meme as well, because there was a time when they used any picture and they slapped Carl's face onto it. Because it's just that hilarious. But he's just that good with the delivery and the one-liners. Even something as simple as his running animation, that's just the funniest thing ever. I recommend watching it just for Carl alone.
You mean like the one where the Aqua Teens are on vacation and it's just Carl by himself?
That's probably one of my favorites, just because of you just see him rambling to himself.
Yeah, and there's also the story arc where the Aqua Teens go missing after refusing to pay a gas leak, and Carl's having to do the open houses when the landlord was trying to sell their house
to them robots, or
yeah, and then there's like the sirens.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like the giant monster in the third episode in the arc.
Oh, Paul. So, should we move on to Frylock?
Yes.
Frylock is kind of like the smart one, but he can be dumb with his science projects that normally fail. He's like the most mature one, but he's also really chilled as well. Like Harry Mean's voice onto it is like makes it sound really smooth. Kind of works for his character as well. Even when he's pissed off, it's just the smoothest voice ever. Harry Means also did Thundercleese for the Brack show and other stuff as well. So I'm guessing that's how they knew him and gave him the role for that. And then Carrie Means said his favorite episode, or best episode, when I was looking it up, was the Birthday Snake. When, I'm guessing it's just when Frylock, on his own, he killed everyone, then he became a pimp, and then everyone came back as zombies.
It's like, you killed us. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't.
And then
you did.
And then they get annoyed.
And then it all turns out to be a simulation that Frylock was putting Meatwad into to test out, see if he'd be responsible with a pet, and then
that is a simulation. Probably what simulations are nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, simulators seem to be a lot more common, especially with VR being more relevant. So that ending aged very well.
Should we move on to Meatwad? The last one.
Yeah, we saved one of the best for last.
Meatwad is like a innocent little child who's literally just a bowl of meat. It's never really confirmed how old these people are, but you can tell he's a child.
Or at least a child on the inside.
And the voice that Dave Willis came up with was how he talks to his pet cats. And that ended up being a reference in the Stop Poll episode. Like Meatwad was literally petting a kitty, saying, "You're a kitty, kitty." So I got that one picked up. So Meatwad has dolls and a box called Boxy Brown. Iconic. And Boxy Brown was also voiced by Dave. I just think Meatwad's just the most iconic Adult Swim character, dare I even say it. He's normally I think he's just the face of Adult Swim.
Did his face become a meme?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Should we talk about the fill-ins? Because I think that's the best part.
They're yeah, it just had like a wide variety of villains. I mean, we've already mentioned the Moon Knights.
Yeah, we all know Moon Knights are the most iconic for the worst reasons, to be honest.
And yeah, apparently they're based off of the Atari ET game. On
Yeah.
what they think is left of the ET game.
Like ghost of it, yeah. And they're like more superior because they're on the moon. And they come back a lot, so like literally every episode with them in it is the best ones. And then you also get the cybernetic Ghost of Christmas Past. He's the funniest with his backstories. And you never know if he's telling the truth or he's just bullshitting. And the way he just carries the story on is just the funniest.
And not to mention, there's the one where he's like a turkey.
Yeah. What is that you're eating? And Carl's like, this is your mother. Then you got the Plutonians, who are kind of like the Moon Knights in a way, but they're like more dumb, more younger.
And there was actually a pilot, a spin-off pilot called Space Kataz that was going to star the Moon Knights and the Plutonians as rivals, but never got past the
Green light.
yeah, it never got greenlit. I mean, unless you count the season 10 episode that stars the Moon Knights and the Plutonians, you can somewhat count that as the only other episode of Space Kataz.
That would be funny, but I always feel like the Moon Knights will always get the upper hand, just for how dumb the Plutonians are.
Yeah, I imagine that Space Kataz would have been maybe about one season if it had been greenlit.
Yeah,
would really depend how much material they would have in their heads to write.
yeah. There's also another character called MCP Pants, and this guy gets reincarnated into different animals and objects every time he comes back from hell. And his plans are like some of the funniest shit ever.
And he says he turns his plans into rap songs and then raps about how he wants candy, bubblegum, or taffy.
The rapping is the funniest. Voiced by MC Chris, and then the way he use albums to lure people in, but it's only just meat wad.
Honestly, that role was made for MC Chris.
He's really funny because it's just how over the top and loud he is. Some of the characters. I think my favorite one is the cow, and he's just used an album to talk about starving children, and you gotta do a food drive. And when Meat Wad does it, it takes him to this big dump. He says, "I'm using all this for flies to spit acid to spit on the banks of the government, so he can get the money to pay for his patio furniture."
And the patio furniture is all chewed up.
Yeah.
Because he's a cow and he chewed it up. Then they took him to the slaughterhouse, which he thought was a job.
Oh no, to get an interest loan. But it's just the weirdest writing ever, but it's just very smart as well. It's the type of writing I compliment in the show because it's always these conversations that are kind of real, even though they're fast food objects, but it's these bants and humor and the way they do throw shots at each other, and these conversations as well, they're layered on top as well. So it's just always feels natural versus for example, Family Guy, it's always Peter, I can't believe you did this, and then you did this, and next line Peter says something, then Brian next line does something. So it's just very scripted, and you can easily tell. But for Aqua Teen, it's always like bounced on top of each other. Like one would stutter, and then he, because they get interrupted, then they were like, oh wait, then say the line, then you hear like a hidden word in between a conversation. It's just like that I compliment on.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention Aqua Teen doesn't always have to rely on cutaway gags like Family Guy does for their humor.
Yeah.
Because the main plot for each episode is funny enough.
Yeah. I'm not trying to show on Family Guy, but there's always like, it's just a predictable shit. Peter Blues is like, Peanut, I can't believe you put Stewie on the roof. Now you're playing golf with O.J. Simpson.
That episode.
Yeah, Peter's like, hey Lois, I'm playing golf. Yeah. But then, and then like even the Aqua Teen, they kind of noticed the pattern too, because Shake would be like, oh, now Frylux is gonna say who are you and where you're from, then you're gonna tell your evil plan, and he's gonna say something like, oh my god, it's so predictable. So I was like, okay, they get it.
And they're able to shake up the formula.
Yeah. Or even when Shake's doing something with Meatwad, and Frylux literally right behind him, and then Shake turns, and they all say at the same time, what are you doing? It's like, oh, boom, you owe me money, Meatwad. It's just funny stuff that's very, you cannot think of this.
Well, unless you have a similar writing style to Dave and Matt.
Then you got other villains like Dr. Womburger. He also reincarnates into other forms as well.
Yeah, he reincarnated into a tooth.
A giant dick.
Yeah, I think the giant dick was his first appearance. And he was
a little cheeseburger.
He was stealing people's penises to
create a rocket ship.
Back to Dick Planet.
How am I supposed to get home? Just call someone to pick you up. I will.
I bet if one of us was watching the episode uncensored on DVD, we'd feel pretty awkward if like a family member walked in.
And the cheeseburger one is just like, my family did not approve of this. My son isn't a cheeseburger. Your son is a cheeseburger, I yelled. Yeah, the frat aliens, who are just frat dudes from college, but they're just aliens from space. Yeah, bro, my dad's an attorney. My dad owns a dealership, bro. That's so funny. And Willie Nelson, not the Willie Nelson, but just Willie Nelson from The Attic. He's like the most quotable. He's just like the non-scariest person ever. Then the plot twist at the end, it's just the horrific shit ever. And then like the funniest part was him going up to Carl's house. So it's like he's rehearsing his line because he keeps saying, what are you doing here? So he's just reading off his script, and he goes up to Carl's like, what are you doing here? And Carl's like, I live here, asshole. It's so funny.
And Master Shake was trying to get Willie Nelson to scare Carl.
And that backfires.
Yeah, and then Carl and Meatwad end up scaring Master Shake.
I'm the Incredible Plum. You don't like me when I'm angry. I don't like you ever. Just one thing we didn't bring up, it's like the most funniest thing ever, was the early seasons always end with this crazy twist at the end that makes it's like so abrupt and sudden, but it works so well. It'll be something like the Brood Witch. It'd be like, oh, he wins something, then it backfires because the boys try to make him eat the sandwich. It's like, all right, what do I win? Free brain surgery. And like in a split second, his brain was removed, and he says, eat it. Then he does, and then he dies. It's just funny humor like that. Or it's just like a one line at the end that's just random. Like Carl explodes randomly and they're like, why do you do that? Why wouldn't he? The end. It's stuff like that that's missing from the later seasons.
Yeah, I mean, in the I know in the season 7 premiere they were able to do several callbacks to the early seasons because of how the show had changed in tone over time.
Yeah, you can easily tell by that. It's just like, don't know if it's focused more on like story driven or it's just something that's not really the same as the original.
Yeah, because for example, I mean, you can if you like listen really closely, you can tell that that they stopped having rap songs in every transition.
Yeah. You don't get the Scully D narration in transitions. And like just to wrap up the villains, there are some like meh kind of characters, because there's like so many. There's not all of them hit you like that. I wasn't really a fan of Paul. I thought he was just angry and annoying. There's Markula, the landlord. He's just not that interesting to me. Later on, there's Sukati Manikati, the puppet. It's like, this is dumb. And even old seasons like The Cube, he was kind of annoying, but I think that's just his character.
And then they had the real Cube, who's turned out to just be as annoying as his brother.
Yeah. Like, they're annoying, but they're supposed to do that to you, so I get that. Should we talk about the celebrities, because there's like surprisingly a lot of big names onto the show.
Yeah, I think well, you know how we brought up Family Guy earlier. They actually did get Seth MacFarlane to be that one brain guy.
The brain guy, like the car wash one. Is that it?
The one with the giant brain, and he like hides it under grass, and it's the trivia one.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Yeah. I think like the most recognizable was John Benjamin. For those who don't know, he did Archer and Bob's Burgers. He plays
and he was Coach McGurk in Home Movies.
Yeah, so he does multiple characters on the show.
Yeah, he was one of the Bible fruit. He was the
Bug.
The moth. The moth. Yeah. And live action Master Shake.
Yeah, just himself. Also, T-Pain, he played Frylock in the live action episode. And then his auto-tune keeps crackling up through sentences. It wasn't the first time T-Pain was on an Adult Swim episode. I remember him being on Squidbillies just as himself.
Which episode was he on? I'm a bit rusty on Squidbillies' guest appearance.
I can't remember, but it was because I remember the trailer. It was like they were in a recording booth, and then Early's like making a rap song, but like, oh, I like to drive in my truck, and T-Pain was ad-libbing in auto-tune. He likes to drive in his truck. That's all I remember. It could be mid-season. I'm guessing after season 5. You also get George Lowe, who you talked about before. He plays himself and other people as well.
Yeah, he plays a cop.
Like I guess like a wedding host.
He also plays Jet Chicken in Rocket Horse and Jet Chicken.
Jet Chicken. Let's see. I like to quote him the most because of that standards and practice one. I always quote him saying, "Uh-oh, someone's going to get an email." Because every time at work when something fucked up happened, I'm just like, "Uh-oh, someone's going to get an email." It's just funny. There's Zach Wilde, who was the lead guitarist of Ozzy Osbourne. He plays a big part in an episode when they're doing the birthday song.
Oh yeah, the party one.
Not that one. That's Andrew WK.
Oh,
It's like Shake owes him like $1 million because they did a birthday song, and then they're like, yeah, that's it. There's also yeah, speaking of that, because they always bring up Rush, the band, and also Geddy Lee, the leader. I swear it might be every single episode they always bring up Rush. I don't know if it's Dave Willis is a classic rock fan, but there's always references to Rush and the leader. But like the only time they got a member of Rush was in the movie Neil Peart, the drummer. Sadly, we didn't get Geddy Lee, but at least we got Neil Peart, the drummer.
yeah. At least there was a member of Rush that got to be in the movie, which seems to be appropriate considering that they appear to be Rush fans.
Yeah. There's also Ted Nugent from the Standards and Practice one. And for those who don't know, he did Cat Scratch Fever. That was him. There's also Justin Roiland from the last season. He played this Abraham Lincoln hot dog guy from this Claymation episode. I know it's
the Claymation episode.
Yeah, I know it's him because he always does the Morty voice in anything he joins in.
I mean, if it's not exactly the Morty voice, it's something that sounds similar to the Morty voice.
Yeah, he always does the Morty voice.
Yeah, I mean,
like we know it's you, man. Is at that moment you know? Is that moment you know? Like they're passing the torch to Rick and Morty.
Yeah, because Rick and Morty was being their next big hit. And people were clearly watching that during the last years of Aqua Teen.
Yeah, it was around that time. Damn, it's been so long. Andrew WK, like what he brought up, yeah, he did make Party. And for those who don't know, he also later on became the host of Destroy, Build, Destroy on Cartoon Network. That was the same dude.
Wow.
It's like a poetry, it's like it rhymes. It's like there's also Chickenfoot. They appear like technically twice. One was the I Am a Pod one, but it was also brought up in Unit Patrol Squad when they were listening to Chickenfoot. So, I didn't know who they were at first, so I had to look it up. Apparently they were a supergroup of both 2 members from Van Halen and 2 members from Red Hot Chili Peppers. So that's like a big flex right there. Like they got those people on, and they all like voiced on the show as well. So they got legends right there. Not gonna lie, they got me into the band because they are super underrated. So
yeah, I mean, you know, you're cool if you have been in Aqua Teen Hunger Force at some point.
There's also MF Doom. He also voiced the famous BillyWitchDoctor.com guy.
Wow.
That is the funniest episode ever.
Which one is that?
You know, a rice chicken.
Oh.
Like, you know we're resurrecting Shake, not an actual chicken. Yes, of course.
Oh yeah.
A rice chicken.
It's like, repeat after me. I am Sofa King. Sofa King. We Todd Ed.
You make me laugh.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of today's cancel culture, you probably can't easily do that joke
Ever
today.
again. Protect BillyWitchDoctor.com at all cost.
Yeah, don't get this episode banned. Please don't ban this episode, AT&T.
There's also Chuck D from Public Enemy. He plays himself in the Christmas episode.
Which one? The
when they made the Christmas album at the end.
Oh, the album one.
Yeah. It's kind of like Rush. They always bring up Public Enemy or mostly Flavor Flav, who's also the member. So it's cool they brought Chuck D. He's a legend in rap. And speaking of rap, Schooly D, he does the theme song, and also he does appear in the intro and transitions when he narrates in the early seasons.
And he appears. He makes an appearance at the end of Rabot Redux.
Yeah.
And
he appears a lot like himself sometimes. And yeah, that's all I can think of. Like, there's like a shit ton of more people as well. There's a porn star one. There's a
they got Tara Patrick to play herself in the clip show episode Grim Reaper Gutters.
Grim Reaper Gutters. There's Dan Sick, who's from the Misfits. And there's just so many other people.
And also in the Bible Fruit one, not only did they get John Benjamin to play one of the Bible Fruit, but they also got Kristen Satchel and David Cross to play the other Bible Fruits.
Kristen sounds familiar. Like, where is she from?
She was Louise on Bob's Burgers.
That was her.
She's also Mabel on Gravity Falls.
That was her.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't even tell. Oh my god, she's so good. Yeah, I love her. Yeah. I love her voice. Probably like old her.
Also, she's like in Last Man on Earth as the Last Woman on Earth character.
She's also on BoJack and then Big Mouth as well. So yeah, she's like queen of voice actresses.
Yeah, I mean she has a fitting voice for all those characters. Clearly.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. You know what? Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Anyways, with like Bible Fruit characters, they actually tried making a spin-off with the Bible Fruit characters resurrected as sports equipment. And it lasted for about 6 episodes. And 4 of them are on AdultSwim.com.
Hey, try that. This was, when I was rewatching Breaking Bad, the best show of all time, there was a scene where Walter White Jr. was watching Aqua Teen with his friend laughing. So it's like 2 of my favorite things coming together. That's like an incredible nod. Incredible they put that on. So I was like, ever since then, I was trying to find out what episode that was that appeared for 3 seconds. So I was like constantly looking, scrolling through every single one. And it took me months, but I realized it was like the beginning of the Chick Magnet one. I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. It's season 1 on season 2.
Oh yeah, the one where they have a magnet that attracts chicks, but it doesn't work, and in the end, it ends up working, and like all the chicks in the town get pulled into the force of the magnet.
Yeah, and then it makes Frylock and Shake insecure and feminist.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, all these incredible references and nods to it. So I think, like what we said before, like how the original like first 5 seasons and like everything after that, it's like this weird change in the stories and humor.
Yeah, and
It's kind of like how I've been noticing this. So it's kind of like, for me originally it was like, oh, I'm not really into this ever since they started changing the names around like 2011. Like later on, the more I watch, like re-watching all this, because I've seen it like 100 times, the more I kind of notice like post movie, they're starting to have that change. Not drastically, but gradually became different.
Yeah, it never goes full on SpongeBob.
Not full on, but like the first 5 seasons were gold, and then which everyone praises, and then people did not like season 6 for some reason. I'm like, yeah, okay. I was like, yeah, I don't really come back to that one that much. The good moments, but
yeah, I mean, the ending of the Siren, the one with like the mermaid episode, where they like all blow up because they had sex with the mermaid, except for Master Shake.
I think that was season 7. I think.
Yeah, that was season 6.
Okay,
I think it is a funny moment. However, I think it would have been a lot funnier if they had ended the episode after Shake is like, I don't know why I've been exploded. I guess I'm just immune due to exposure to all their butts and sex and stuff. You guys really should hear it. You guys should really hear the story. And if they ended the episode right there, I think it would have been a lot funnier.
Yeah. And it kept going, and then he goes up to Terry and Dante, and it keeps going.
I mean, if they wanted to continue the episode right there, maybe they could have had Shake like attempt to force himself onto the mermaid.
Yeah. But like the season after that, it got like a little bit better, and then I think like my big problem was like just the names for it. It felt like a reboot, even if it wasn't. Like don't get me wrong, the jokes were still there, but the stories and plot got more basic and boring.
I mean, considering that that they like started the first season after the movie with the Aqua Teens missing for 3 episodes. And then like the episode after that is the one where Master Shake keeps on putting Meatwad's pets into a microwave and blows them up. I mean, he does get his comeuppance, but it's definitely a turnoff for a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me, but it's like ever since like post movie or even just the I don't know how to say it. I'll just keep saying the name series. Sometimes Shake gets more attention, like he became the spotlight. Like he's now the main character, because back then it used to be just the 3 of them doing shit, but now they're all relying on Shake himself. There's a lot of just more Shake episodes than they are just the main gang.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly became a creator's pet. And I mean, I do like Shake, but I like him as much as the other guys.
Exactly, yeah. Like he's my favorite, but he only works because of the others. Like whenever he's just off on his own, like it's just I'm just relying on him to keep me entertained.
I mean, sure, you can have Carl by himself, but I mean, he's Carl. He's not really part of the main trio.
Yeah. I'll give them credit, but like the name series, like the production effects got really good and improved.
You're talking about the like Unit Patrol and all that?
Yeah. Unit Patrol and up, like that got way better. Like the rest, like it was good, but then they put a lot of work into the other seasons.
Yeah, you can tell that they were clearly more into the different names seasons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually watching one of them in the background of this podcast.
That's what I want to segue into the ranking stuff for the last 4 seasons. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. At least not till we talk about the finale.
Yeah. Well, I won't say the finale stuff yet, but it's alright for me to rank it, or do you haven't seen it all yet? So,
I've seen it all before.
Okay. I wouldn't say. I'd say the best one is Unit Patrol. Actually, I'd say that is as close to being like a Awkward Teen style season, but more of like a post-movie era type of season. There are some good episodes in there, as like I come back to like Carl's intervention when he had a drinking problem. That's always a funny one.
Is it the one where his the lasagna episode, or a different one?
I think different one.
Oh yeah, I think that's like the third episode of this season.
Yeah.
And he's getting Meatwad to drive him places.
Yeah, with the breathalyzer. I also like the yeah. Sorry, go on.
And I'll wait until I'm talking about the season.
There's also the wide try one. I would do like that one where everyone turns into 2 triangles. Oh, that was a funny story. Then there's also Jumpy George Shake when Carl and Shake were competing over a chick.
Yeah, and that one ended up turning into a Moon Knight episode.
Even that does feel too similar to Dusty Gonzalez when they were competing. But the only thing different is they forgive each other at the end.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention there's also the Christmas episode where Carl and Shake share a mail order bride.
Yeah. They're always competing, that's the funniest thing. Other than that, the rest of that season was pretty dull. Like, not skippable, but I wouldn't say there's not a terrible episode. Just a lot of ones. Like, the first two episodes, I remember watching that when that premiered on TV. When it was like the detective ones, and it ended up Shake going into the future 9 years later.
Oh yeah, that was a great season opener.
It was a funny opening, yeah. Yeah, I'll give that one a pass as well. That's it for that one. My second favorite is Awkward TV Show, the 2013 one. I'd say that one was more laid back, and I think they come back to doing random shit as well. Even though I do think episodes like Working Stiffs, one where they're trying to find a job, was really similar to Robo-Sitter. And they're just lazy trying to find a job. And then I think Dante was in that one as well. And then there's this one I really did not like, was Shake wanting to be cool because of this fake email order scam. And Carl was
I mean, that sounds like something that was done in a previous season.
Yeah. The weird thing was Carl was helping him be cool, but that's not really like his character. And for him to go to the Duties Award, even though it's just trying to sell condos in the Nevada. Even he would like just realize that. Even he said like, you do realize it's just a scam, but he was there anyways. That's one of them, but I do compliment on the background settings. Like, I always loved how good they look. Even for Adult Swim, like, they really worked hard on the backgrounds. That's why I like coming back to those stuff, like Piranha Germs, or the Merlot Hypnosis guy. Or just those background settings of, like, just the offices and hotels. and the golf course. Like, most of that I just like looking at. I'm gonna say my favorite one from that season has to be Frida, the robot. That's, like, honestly the saddest one as well. You remember that one?
Might be a bit rusty on that one.
The Shake,
I mean, it's the same season as Space Caduce and the storage one.
Yeah. We see Shake has a girlfriend and he was super happy, he's being nice to everyone. But then it turned out she's just a robot that Frylock made just so Shake can just shut up. But Frida falls for Carl. She dumps Shake, and then we see Shake really fucking depressed. And that, like, really upsets me, because he went from just being happy naturally to just being destroyed, and just being desperate and obsessed over her. To the point where Frida just jumps off the freeway and just gets run over. I thought that story was solid. But, like, poor Shake. And so, third favorite is the last season, Aqua Teen Forever, to be honest. I say, like, don't get me wrong, besides the last 2 episodes that were, I say, really good. But we can talk about that later. The rest were just okay. I think that was just because of, like, how laid back it was, because they didn't know that was the last season, then they had to pick up the pace. And make it feel like it's the season finale, because... So that's why I just didn't think it wasn't that interesting story-wise. So
Yeah, I think if they were told more in advance, they probably would have had some stronger episodes to end it on.
at the same time, it's the same season that gave us Shake being the rabbit, and later on he became the rabbit in the Nickelodeon show.
Thundermans.
Guys, be quiet. I'm still podcasting.
You can't do it for very long because the Comcast man is.
Sorry about that. My parents were being a bit loud.
That's alright. And lastly was the Aqua Teen, whatever one. I say that's my least favorite. I do like the first 2 episodes, because they're like... I was interested, like, Carl getting with this woman that Frylock wanted, and then the other one, Miwaj becoming a internet sensation. That was funny. Other than that, it was pretty... I didn't get nothing from them. I'm sorry, because you're watching this at the same time.
It's okay. It's your opinion, and
Yeah.
I'm not offended by it.
I think just the only thing that I had a problem was it just really ends it out of... It just really ends it, and it just goes nowhere. They build up a plot, but they just go nowhere with it. And that's just my main problem. Like, the last episode was literally Carl and Shake talking for 3 minutes, just standing in one place and just talking. And it was... They had like a build-up, but it went nowhere. You'll probably know what I mean later.
What episode am I on?
It's the very last episode, so...
I'm watching the 9th episode of the season right now.
So it's the last episode, so...
Of the season.
Yeah, the last episode of that season.
I'm gonna buy the I'm buying more seasons next time I get an iTunes gift card.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my ranking, so... It originally was different, but more I think about it, I gave Aqua Unit Patrol a pass. Like, I was harsh on it, but I was kind of like looking back at it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. You want to talk about your favorite episode? Okay, yeah, sure. I'll say, I forgot what season it is, but it's the multiple meat episode. Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite one. So after finding out Meatwad can multiply, Shake loses his mind, but he still tries to cut him up, only to create like 20 of them. It's just that Meatwad's just talking, just driving him insane. And my favorite scene from that show was him playing poker with Carl. When I say like the script writing was great, this is a good example because the way Carl uses flashcards to play like it's Texas Hold'em, and he's like faking it just to get money from Meatwads, but it's actually just monopoly money or foreclosure. And he gets mad, and it's the kind of scene that should be praised more, like a Steamed Hams episode. Because I can easily recite that scene on the top of my head, that's the amount of times I've seen it. And the funny thing is, like, if any poker fans out there, you would be like, see how inaccurate Carl was when he was playing poker with them. And it's like the illegal version as well. I say lastly, the insane part was when Frylock moves out because he made them sing 3 million bottles of milk on the wall. And they all sing at once. Yeah. Like 60 years later, yeah. I'm not good at maths, but I'm sure it's like 3 million bottles and then 60 years, so I'm guessing Meatwad screwed up more than once and they had to start over. Then it takes years. So Frylock came back and they're still singing it. So and then Frylock talks to Shake about his successful life. And then he was doing so well, and then Shake is literally blind and barely deaf, and he's stuck in the Frylock's room. He's like depressed and shit. And the fucked up part was when Meatwad wanted to sing a song again, and then you hear the sound of a gunshot from Frylock's room. From Shake. So that's like a perfect fucking episode. We do see like Frylock doing successful on his own, and then we see Meatwad successful on his own, but you never see Shake doing something for himself. Like, he's always relying on them. You never see him successful on his own. The only time I only see him like doing well in his career was him being a ventriloquist or a magician with the puppets. But that didn't last long. So yeah, that's mostly everything we talked about from the entire series. It's been 20 years from now, it's amazing, and it's been like 5 years since it ended, and everyone's still talking about it to this day. Yeah, that's about does it. Anybody watching who worked on that show, I want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for working on it and making millions of people laugh and still remember it to this day. And I hope you're all having a good year, and hopefully 2021 will be our year, but even then, just make sure you're all safe. Love you all, goodbye.
To the phones real quick.
Yeah, I'm calling in to request any music that ain't this. Stop playing everything you've been playing, cause your music sounds like a dumpster rolling down 5 flights of stairs.